So here we are, it's the 12th of January, so almost 2 weeks into the first month of the new year, and I'm out in the forest again, of course. See the ridge at the top there, bit of sun coming through. We're down in it's like a small valley, I suppose, and all this wood here is chestnut. Apparently, anyway, chestnut. So you can see this is all dead pieces. These are brilliant for the old barbecue, and as I've said before. And then the bigger bits, they do spit a bit, but they do burn great. So it's great just to come out again and, you know, get your gear on and come out and just be out here. So I'm just sitting down, got my little sit down pad so I don't get a wet behind. So yeah. So as the nonsense continues, it's interesting to see the so-called mainstream, not that we watch it, but doing full U-turns on you know what. Again, of course, all by design. So I wonder how many people that went along with the program have watched or listened to some of the U-turn specialists and are wondering what on earth is going on and what they are going to do. A couple more people that we know of who are now having problems, obviously due to the obvious, as we know. But again, you know, these bods are all controlled, told to tell you one thing and then a little while later told to tell you something else. So we've just got a car coming up here. We've got a very small road here, so you can see in this little valley here, so we don't get very many cars up here, but obviously there are roads around here, and I walk down the road because it's easier than coming down through there. I'm still astounded that people actually believe that there's anything going on in the good old yellow and blue with the rusty tank conflict. I started doing a video some time ago, and I actually stopped after we did a 2020 sort of shortened version of it, but a video on the old rusty tank conflict, showing all these staged pictures, hundreds of staged pictures. Again, if there was anything really to be concerned about, they wouldn't need to stage pictures, but they've always staged pictures. The Westminster Bridge thing, London Bridge, whatever, all staged pictures. A brilliant one of a woman trying to walk across this demolished bridge with her shopping, you know, which I will put in this video. It's just hilarious. And again, as I've said before, not mocking anybody that's been injured or killed in any of these things that have gone on, but just the fact that it's so obvious it's all set up, and they're showing you that it's all set up. It's hilarious. So you got you know, just before I think it was just before Christmas, you got old Kermit the Frog, Billy Boy G, making his 2023 predictions and mentioning how the rusty tank conflict was going to cause more problems for the rest of Europe. And it's like, how would you know that? Well, of course, because you're all part of it, which is so obvious, right? It's obvious to us that are awake. I've been watching a guy with a great channel for some time now. His name's Matt, and I'll put a link in the description. And he was talking about things that, like we've discussed, about why is it that we can see and understand and other people can't? You know, are you a 6, a 7, an 8, or a 10 and above? If you understand everything that's going on, you know, we're talking about the so-called gatekeepers, how they take you to one place, and then you don't need to go any further because you already know. but actually there's so much more than what you're being told. And I would just say to anybody, get a little plastic box or something, and write out 5 things that you think, 5 things, that's all you need, and put them in the box and keep them in there. Keep them in there for a later date, because you'll open it up one day and go, yep. And there's so much more to this than the obvious sort of, this is happening for this reason, that's happening for, you know. I had a discussion with somebody yesterday, a client of mine, who was still astounded at what's going on in certain countries with this rise in, you know, electricity, the cost of electricity and so on. And I tried to explain that this is all done by design, right? The poor people who live off the welfare don't care anyway. The wealthy people have got enough money to pay for it, and the poor fuckers in the middle, the working class and the sort of lower middle class, whatever you want to call it, are the ones who always get kicked in the balls, kicked in the arse, whatever, and have to pick up all the pieces. And this is a generational thing. I think it was 1837 was a biggie, and every so many years they pull this stunt, and then every 100 odd years they pull a biggie. So, you know, this so-called resetting of society and so on, and that is what we are in right now. And we've either got to learn and get on with it, or we just bury our heads in the sand, which of course, as you know, I'm not prepared to do. And the funny thing is, I've said to a number of people, none of this shit scares me, right? I've said I don't want to get eaten by a shark, I don't want to get eaten by piranhas, I don't want to be chopped up with a sword or anything like that, but none of this shit scares me, because I know that there's a lot more to this. So I'm hoping I'm going to be doing a proper full-length podcast with my mate in Albuquerque in the States, a friend of mine, producer that I've worked with a lot, and he is pretty much on track with a lot of this. He believes in the Bible, and as I do, especially now, you know, I've been looking into that. I said I'm not religious. It's nothing to do with manufactured, controlled religion, but it's to do with, you know, the rule book of common sense. So I'm looking forward to doing that, picking his brains a little bit. I think that you know, in the bigger picture, the T virus, just Google that, you'll find out what the T virus means. I won't go into it, but it's rife. You know, it's a complete upside down world, and it's not the way it's meant to be, but these entities have, over the decades, have turned it more and more and more and more into that, and people who are easily led, which is a huge percentage of the population, have gone along with everything. And it's not their fault, you know, in a lot of cases. Some people are just, you know, they just can't even be bothered to look. But I was telling my mate yesterday, I said, you've only got to go and have a look. Just go and do a bit of research and see. And I said, it'll take you an hour of your time to find out exactly. You know, do not put your thumbs up for any of these people that are doing this, because they're just, you know, they're just different cheeks of the same arsehole, and none of them have got your interests at heart. They never have, and they never will. So don't pat them on the back. Don't, you know, there's a few of these online practitioners who are now doing U-turns on the last couple of years, that should be basically hanging from a gibbet. Don't make excuses for these bods. Don't pat them on the back. I see people, there's one guy in particular who just I cannot stand. I've only listened to him once just out of interest, and this dude should have a rope round his neck and be hanging from a gibbet whilst the crows peck out his eyes. So don't pat these people on the back that have coerced you into something that you are not going to be able to fix. I've said before, I hope we're all wrong, but I'm afraid I am convinced that we're not. Anyway, so here we are, first one of the new, proper one of the new year. and yeah, I'll keep posting little bits and bobs. There's a bunch of people that you should be following and checking out. Don't take it all as 100%. Remember, they could be, all these people could be anybody. I could be anybody, you know, but work it out for yourself. You were given common sense and gut instinct for a reason. Use it. Anyway, that's it for now, and I'm going to go and cut me some more wood. So before I head back, I just wanted to add another thing, talking about the whether you're a 6, a 5, a 10, an 8, whatever. There was a really cool video that this guy put out a few years ago now, to do with an alien invasion, right? So he's doing this YouTube thing, and then he realizes something's going on, and he goes outside. He's this giant spaceship hovering above, and I presume this bloke basically did it on his laptop, something like that, but it looked pretty good. And I watched the first part of it, and I thought, yeah, he did a really good job here. It's like, what would happen if? And of course, it's got the usual thing with, you know, civil unrest, the public turning on each other, as he said, gunshots, but not laser strikes, you know, and all this kind of stuff. And he goes through this whole thing, and I thought it was really good. I thought he did a really good job. Just showed you how easy it would be, again, to dupe the public, just like that. And this is like on a zero budget video. And then I thought, I wonder what this guy's doing now, you know. So I went and checked it out, and he's one of these, you know, like we all think we are, a bit of preppers, you know. He's a prepper, right? And he's got all this stuff, and he's got all these followers and everything. And then he starts talking about his predictions for last year and how he got it all right. And then he starts talking about his predictions for this year. And this guy, I was so tempted to write something. Right, so this guy's like way ahead of everybody, right? He thinks he is, but he still believes the old, you know what, is real. And he actually built an ultraviolet cabinet to put food from the store in, to kill off any, you know what. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Right? And then he starts talking about the old prospects of a nuclear conflict. That's right, nuclear, you know what I mean. And I'm like, you know, you're really well up on stuff and you've not done any research. You're still, despite the fact that you're preparing your family and everything for hard times, you're still listening to the mainstream news. And whether this guy is real, whether he's just a, you know, their tube employee or something, but it shows you how deep this crap runs with these people that actually believe, without doing any research, everything that they're told. And I just thought, well, mate, you might think you've got it all sewn up in a nutshell and have plenty of water stored and so on and so forth, but if you actually believe that the last 3 years especially is real, then everything that you've put out is a complete and utter waste of your time. So I just wanted to add that at the end. And of course, there's more people like that than there are people that can see the big picture. So try and look at the big picture. Try and really look into what is going on and why. And if you do watch mainstream, cross-reference it with other stuff. But remember, it doesn't matter what side it's coming from. You don't know who these people are. You don't know who I am. Could all be fake. You don't know, but you know, get outside, get some fresh air, and you know, get out and walk and do stuff, and appreciate what we've been given, and understand why these particular generational entities want to take it all away.